Hey Cameron, why don't you go ahead and do the intro?
Hey everybody, welcome to the Drowning in Pools podcast. Episode 90 some shit.
It's my favorite number.
And I fucked up again, because I'm the guy who fucks up. Haha. But it's going to be a podcast, and we're going to talk about some shit.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for one of those?
Another one of those.
Another one of those!
Well, you know. I mean, I'm good. I got a nice 6 hours of sleep. And I showed up here on
Same.
time. You know. I was even getting some Guilty Gear in.
Nice.
So, you know.
Let's see, got 5 hours? Roughly 5 hours of sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And
A little extra.
little extra. But just didn't realize that today was Wednesday and not Thursday.
We have been recording on, like, fucking Thursdays a lot. Days are all
Yeah.
fucked up.
I had a rough day yesterday. Video games were not going in my favor yesterday.
Yeah. Do they ever?
I mean, sometimes, but
Usually when you're playing against Derek and playing some bullshit.
I was very upset with my performance yesterday in Power Rangers. Very upset. Not because I played bad, but because I got screwed over by like a scenario 5 times in a single set. And so apparently Tommy can't get hit with the ice crouching unless you hit all 3 hits of heavy, which only matters to a couple people, but it fucking pissed me off.
What else did you do this week?
I played some games, nothing like crazy, just my normal fucking things. I participated in the housework tournament in Power Rangers. I played more Slay the Spire like normal. Played more League of Legends like normal. Slay the Spire is a fucking fun ass game. Pokemon Puzzle League is still the best game in the world. And Power Rangers is a fucking fun fighting game. But I also watched some movies.
What?
That's like the majority of my week.
Yeah.
So there's a movie I watched. It's called Next Gen. I'm going to get right into it.
I've also seen this movie.
Have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to give you my my hardcore, Cameron hard-hitting rating of the movie.
Oh boy, here we go.
Are you ready for this? Yeah. I rate this movie a 6 out of 10.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I will now, if we're gonna break it down a little bit, I'll rate the scenery and the background and the images. This movie is very pretty. It's a very good looking movie.
It looks good. It looks like one of those higher end like Pixar or
Yeah, I like every time I was looking at it, I'm like, this is not a Pixar or DreamWorks movie.
Yeah. It just looks like one. It just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like one.
So, the only reason why I give it like a 6 out of 10 is because the story was good and terrible. Very terrible, but good. But very, like it was...
I found the story to be predictable in good ways and bad ways.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
I was like, oh, is it gonna, like, sometimes I would be like, oh, is it gonna be this dumb thing? And then it would be that dumb thing, and I'd be like, well, that was stupid. But then sometimes I'd be like, man, it'd be cool if the character did this, and the character would literally do that, and then,
yeah,
you know, it's awesome.
So, like, as a personal movie, I would actually probably rate this a little bit higher. But as, like, just me just thinking about it, I'm like, this movie sucked. But, like, I had a great fucking time with it. Doesn't...
Yeah. It was like tough for me to get through like the first probably half of this movie because I found the main character so fucking unlikable, and it was just kind of like typical shit, you know. So like, she's a fucking Luddite because she hates robots and shit, and you know, and she's sad that her dad left and blah 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 and all this other shit. She's like a rebel. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But then it kind of ramps up and stuff starts to. And
I will-
overall, the story is still pretty like, you know, bog standard. It's about as, you know, typical as you get for one of these kind of stories.
But I think my favorite thing about it is the fact that the writing was almost too close to real life of how it would be written because of how bad real life writing is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, a lot of these lines are fucking horrible, and I was like, what they do kind of sound like they're coming out of a real person's mouth. So
Like the entire time I'm like, the writing itself is both good. Like, you can't say it's bad, but you also can't say it's like good per
there
se.
was one point where she literally goes, "We're a pair, you and I, a broken girl, a broken robot," and I fucking rolled my fucking eyes so hard. I was like, God damn. Also, the main girl's voice actress, I'm sure it was just the directing or something, but she's fucking awful.
You thought it was bad?
I thought she was terrible.
I thought it was pretty
horrible
good
the whole time. She had like all. She sounded so out of place. Like all the other voice actors were fucking great because they're all like.
I hated the
well-established
soccer
actors.
girl.
Yeah, she was bad. She was just annoying.
That was a bad voice actor for me.
Like her and the main character to me were definitely the worst.
It may not have been a bad voice actor, but it was just didn't fit for me.
I think it's just usually when it's something like that, it's just the direction. Like listening to a lot of the other actors, it really looks like they kind of just directed themselves. Especially Jason Sudeikis, who played the villain.
Gotcha.
He kind of just did what he does whenever he's just kind of doing his own thing. So
I thought that was a really good villain until the end.
I actually thought he was not a good villain until the end.
I didn't.
He had like you know when you found like his motives, it was like okay, just kind of typical robot shit. But I thought he was more of a real threat when they kind of showed what he actually was at the end. Because throughout most of it, I was like, he's just some dipshit with a strong robot. I already know our new robot's gonna kick its ass, right?
Yeah,
and at the end, it's just gonna be this dipshit guy. And I was kind of right, but I didn't know that the guy was, spoilers,
not human.
At all. I didn't know he was. Like, I thought it was like he hooked up his brain to the Ares robot to do shit.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can kind of get why that would make him crazy. But no, actually, he's been dead the whole time, and he was actually replaced with a robot, and the robot took over that robot. Super crazy. So I thought when they revealed like this thing really does just want to kill everybody, you know, it just wants to fucking murder everybody. Like earlier, he's like, to me, it didn't make sense at first because it was like, well, he just wants to blow people up. You know, he just seemed like a Mark Zuckerberg ass motherfucker, but also he wanted to blow people up.
Yeah.
You know, which didn't make sense to me at first, but when they revealed, it's because he's just a crazy robot who wants to kill everybody, I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Plus, it makes him a better villain to contrast against the main robot character. Because they're kind of both just dark reflections of, you know, he was like a dark reflection of the main character where he was this robot that wanted peace on Earth, but he wanted to go about it by killing everybody as opposed to a hero who just wanted everybody to be cool. You know?
Yeah.
Who even got rid of all his weapons. Because do you remember the bit where fucking the Ares robot calls down a helicopter and it hooks him up with the fucking Tesla cannon and shit?
Okay, all right.
To me, the ending is the best also because it becomes a fucking hype-ass anime.
Yo, I agree with you there that the fucking ending sequence, fucking amazing. But,
absolutely beautiful. It was incredible. The
reason,
villain just yells Tesla beam, like calls out his attack for no reason. Happens once and it never happens ever again. And it's not like activating Tesla cannon. It's Tesla beam. Like what the fuck?
Like, so I can guarantee you it's that robot. He made that and was so excited to actually get to use it.
Yeah. Like finally, we're fucking around doing nothing.
But so the reason why I didn't like the ending is because I think it was like 30 minutes too short.
Like, what do you mean? Like, it kind of just
Like
happened
the setup
Yeah,
for it was
okay.
It was just like
because we're kind of just suddenly in a stadium
post-apocalypse.
Yeah, like everything's getting destroyed and crazy shit's going on. Yeah, it does seem like it happens kind of fast.
Like, so like if you had like maybe not 30 minutes, but like maybe at least 15, 20 minutes more of setup,
yeah,
I'd be fine with it. But it was just like, all right, we have no way to make this villain a villain.
Because it really does just seem like
make them blow up a building, make them blow up a stadium.
It really seems like that dude's just the what's his name, Justin something.
Yeah,
he's just a complete idiot. It felt like because he just had a big scary robot and that was it, right? Like the whole time it felt like he was an idiot. Because even when he went on that talk show, they were making fun of him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I did like that. It really did seem he wasn't like part of this company that was completely in control of everything. He was just a very popular, like Apple, right? He was just a very popular company, but he could still be criticized by people who didn't give a fuck about, you know, because it's not very clear, but I'm pretty sure there are other robot companies in this universe.
Yeah.
They just don't,
that's what I assume too.
They just don't talk about them at all. So, but yeah, that ending action sequence, especially when it's like set to the music and like every time he like forgets something about the girl, he gets a new power and he gets stronger.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what's called the action scenes as a whole. So let's go with the first one, the one on the bridge, and
where he's like escaping or whatever, trying to get her back.
Yeah,
yeah.
So how fucking awesome was that? As like every couple seconds, you're like, oh wait, this dude's a badass. Oh wait, this dude's a badass.
Yeah, like I think it was more later because he's like more conscious later on. But at the beginning, yeah, it's like damn, he's
what the fuck is this robot?
Cool shit. Like there was constantly moments where I was like, wow, I can't believe he's doing this. This is fucking radical.
The animation is actually kind of
the choreography is beautiful.
Yeah, for once in a children's movie, the fight scenes are godlike.
Yeah, this is like if what's this called? Kubo and the Two Strings or whatever had really good scenes.
Yeah, they did.
Except the ending to that I think is not good because instead of going with the ending they should have went with he just fights a big dragon monster. But yeah, like each action sequence is well put together and fun, and the like just the brutality of some of them, and just and so the stuff that happens to the robots in general. Like the robots are all these cheery, kind of innocent, almost like little machines that are just happy to do their jobs.
Yeah.
And anytime, but they're always being made to do like really dark shit or dark shit's happening to them.
We'll get there in a second. Yeah, like and like the best part is that all the humans react to robots like they're humans.
Yeah, like when they were on that talk show and they were showing video of all the robots that got destroyed in like this rampage. Like every time they show a shot of the humans, the crowd goes, "Ah!" It's pretty good. But it's like it's like at one point the robots all hold a little girl down so another girl could beat her up, which I thought was super weird.
I thought that was really weird. Like I was just like, oh god.
Like how are robots? Like, how would a robot be programmed to do that kind of thing? Like, literally cause harm to another... Like, these are clearly not robots that follow the laws of robotics.
No, they don't.
And, like, at one point in the very beginning, I think the part where I was like, oh, damn, this is going to be kind of vicious towards the robots is when the Seven, the main robot, walks outside for the first time, and that other robot was like, hey, buddy, you're not supposed to be out here, and they just kind of cut him in half. You know, he does like super quickly.
He cuts off his arm.
Yeah, at first he just cuts off his arm, and you're like, okay.
Which happened?
And then the other robot's like, that's weird. And then he just kind of like his head just kind of falls off.
And then he goes, that's weird.
That's also a weird thing is that even though sometimes they get fucking absolutely demolished or broken in some way, sometimes they'll still be able to talk.
Like I will say like My favorite thing about this movie, because the writing was obviously not great, was that the jokes pretty much all landed for me.
Yeah, the jokes. This was a pretty funny movie. Like
I laughed at all the jokes.
Funny ass jokes in this.
Most of the jokes got me because I wasn't ready for them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it to be like, so like you're watching it and you're like, typical children's movie. And then Right Field comes out and comes like, yeah, here's a joke for adults. Have at it.
The one joke I kind of like, the dog, right? Like when the dog first showed up, I completely kind of checked out because he was just annoying.
Yes.
But then at the end, like, because the dog has this whole thing where the main robot can like translate his barking into actual words, and he like the dog swears a lot, so it's bleeped out a bunch in this kid movie. And I was like, whatever, that's kind of lame and annoying. But then at the very end, the mother of the main girl jumps the bad guy and starts whooping his ass, and then she starts swearing at him, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
That's where the dog gets it from.
Yeah, that's where the dog gets it from. So like they even make stuff like that pay off, where it kind of just seems like a typical ass joke, but then it comes back around. It's like, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and then since the good thing about the mom swearing scene was the daughter who's teenage angst to the max.
Yeah, it's the mom is like this straight laced totally just wants to look at all the technology, be like, ooh, it's so cute, isn't it so nice? Yeah.
Best part, she starts swearing and beating the shit out of this robot man, and the girl goes, "Oh fuck, my mom's cool."
I think the one bit that was kind of weird and annoying to me throughout the whole thing was like her dad left them. He was like they don't really talk about him much, but I guess he was like some soccer star or some shit. But he just kind of left the family, and she keeps having this like her and the mom like really miss him for some reason, even though he was like a piece of shit and he left the family when she was really young. And I don't know, that just the whole dad angle was kind of just pointless to me.
I think he died?
Like the whole. I think he died later on. I guess I don't know.
I think
he like left to go do something.
So
and then he died on the way to do that thing or some shit.
This is what I think happened. He was a soccer player, and they wanted to replace soccer players with robots. He was like, "I'm gonna go play soccer with robots," and died because of that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I think she hates robots, is because technically robots killed her dad. Technically.
Well, she hated robots before that, I think.
No, she didn't.
She didn't?
No.
No, because her dad left first, and then she hated robots, and then her dad died.
That's what I'm saying, is I think...
Well, she already hated robots before he died.
Yeah, I think she hated it because he went to go play soccer with robots.
I guess, but...
They
show a shot of her like beating up a robot for whatever reason. Like she was nice to it at first, and then I think it like hurt her. It like shocked her or something, and then she hated it. Because there's like that fucking montage at the beginning.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just kind of shows you her past, but doesn't really tell you anything about what's going on. I just show the gist of it is he left and then died. Yeah, that's all that matters, right? Because that's all that they don't really talk about it much in the movie.
They don't talk about it at all.
We also
don't know if he died.
It's like her main motivator, right? Because that funeral could have been for fucking anybody. Yeah,
but like she acts like he's gone forever, so I'm guessing he's the one who died at the funeral.
Right? Yeah, because there's no like, because even the bully girl just says he left you, right?
Yeah.
He didn't say he died or he went to become big and famous. It's still very like vague. Yeah, but
all right.
Wait, there's one more thing, I think.
We're gonna talk about the ending sequence.
Yeah, but there's something else.
The fact that the robot was like, "The fuck, you want me to shoot a girl?"
Yeah. Even like okay, this movie is actually super kind of dark. Like, there are bits where like they're kind of going on like a killing spree of these robots, and it's all cheery or whatever. It's set to shitty pop music, and they're having a fun time. And then when she goes and like confronts her bully and brings him along, like she gets him to chase them around and blow up all the bully's robots, and then they basically trap her, and the main girl's like, all right, I'll blast her. And he's like, you want to kill her? Like, what the fuck? And she's like, no, just shock her a little. And he's like, I don't want to do that either. She's just a little girl.
Just like you, dumbass.
I think that's kind of why I didn't really like the main character, because she would just kind of go so far for like no reason, and or just her reasons weren't really fully like explained or anything, and not clear. Like I could understand, like, all right, she hates robots and wants to see all the robots destroyed, right? And all right, she hates this bully, but she doesn't hate the bully as much as she hates robots, or her father for leaving, or anything, or her mom for being so into robots. The bully is just a bully. So her wanting to go nuts on the bully too, it was kind of just a step too far, I think. I can understand chasing them around and blowing up all her robots, but it probably should have just ended there, which I guess was the point in some way. But still, it could have been, because even he goes, can we just have a day where we don't go blow shit up?
Like, please.
So it wasn't even really about going to kill the girl. It was about just fighting all the time,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the ending sequence, they go to space.
They go to space, man.
It turns into the most anime thing at the end.
Okay, at the very, very end, yes, it is literally the most anime thing.
He's essentially in like his super form or whatever, and he flies up with the giant other evil robot into space, and they battle out in space and do all kinds of cool shit.
Can we just talk about
Kamehameha waves his ass into the ground?
Can we just talk about the 7 bajillion like super laser moment at the very beginning that started it all?
Which ones during the car chase?
So no. So after the stadium fight, the stadium fight was okay. It wasn't like the greatest thing or anything.
Because mostly he couldn't fight back, really.
Yeah.
So he was just dodging around. There was one bit where he broke one of the big robot's arms, though, that I thought was cool. I like that they showed that even though he doesn't have his weapons, he still has like dope ass fucking hand-to-hand combat abilities that he just whips out because he's a robot. He's just smashing stuff and jumping around and essentially still doing cool stuff without his weapons.
And just his speed and power in that small little body is fucking cool.
Just absolutely dominant. Like, the shit he does is super cool. I would love to play like a video game of this.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. As long as it's done well, obviously.
Yeah. Like a game where like he starts out like super cool and like he's all best friends with a girl, but then as you get more upgrades and as time goes on, he loses his memories until he's just like a mindless weapon.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so there's that, and then but yeah, so you get out of the stadium and they're all surrounded by what's called all the little I'ma kill you robots.
Yeah.
And he throws out the fucking 7,000 lasers that spin around them and like just chop all these robots.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So, my big problem with that is I don't remember them all blowing up. Did they all blow up?
I think so.
Okay, because I'm like,
yeah, I don't think any of them blew up. Actually, I think it just kind of slices them because it's like the laser is like just a laser, like a blade almost. So it just kind of slices them all up. Because the whole point is that they don't explode, which is super weird to me. Like, the villain literally had his little robot bombs throughout the crowd in the stadium. So I don't know why he didn't just blow them all up while the people were just standing there.
I don't know why he put a timer on them.
Yeah, like, I don't know why they just don't instantly blow up. Because clearly, it's super easy to get away from them. Yeah.
Clearly, it is super easy.
Like, the whole stadium clears out, before these things blow up. So it's like, okay, it's not really that tough to get away from these fucking things. We also talk about that one scientist who got killed.
Oh, okay, so yeah, this will be the last thing we talk about because
this is part of also why I was starting to be like, whoa, this villain is kind of threat, like an actual threat. Cause
I will say this is like the greatest scene in the movie to establish the villain,
like
because
just how bad he is.
Yeah, like because the villain, in my opinion, is still not that great. Like the
villain has cool stuff where he's like he's saying weird things, and you're like, why the fuck is he like talking like that, and like why is he referring to things in that way? And it's throughout the whole movie, and then it kind of it hits a head when you first to the mom as that human woman, and then somebody finally goes, what the fuck? It's like, why'd you say that? You know, and it kind of reveals that he's a robot.
Yeah. But the thing is that like from the very beginning we all knew he was a villain.
Yeah. Oh,
all the way leading to the end. Which
is why I was thankful they didn't treat it like it was like a secret that he was the villain. Like almost immediately, like his next scene, he's doing evil villainous shit, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the villain."
I will say, like, the progression to full on villainy was good, but too fast.
It happens like suddenly. Like he goes from being like kind of like a cool, scummy kind of tech guy to straight
business
up murderer.
Dude. Yeah. But so the fact that he just instantly killed the fucking the good he
the
killed
scientist.
What's not Professor Wiley? Who's the other one? Wait, no, it is Professor Wiley.
Professor Light.
Light, that's the one. Professor Light.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he just kills Professor White instantly.
It's super weird too because he was like telling him off. He was like, you know, one day because. Also, the whole time, I was like, why the fuck would this nice scientist help this dude build bombs that are just going to kill people, right? And it turns out it's because he's, like, at first I thought he doesn't know, right? He must not know something, but then, like, yeah, they show he totally knows that the bombs are going to kill people. I'm like, why would he help him do this? And then he starts kind of going off on the guy before you know he's a robot for sure. He starts going off on the guy, like, he says, "Is my friend still in there? You know, if my friend is still in there, please say anything." Which was weird. And then later on, he goes, "One day, people are gonna find out about you." And then just as he's kind of going off on him, fucking disintegrates him with this instant kill laser.
He tries, like, the robot starts to explain himself. He's like, "Wait a second, this is too much work."
Yeah, he just shoots him. There's even a point where the scientist was trying to tell everybody the dude's backstory, and he goes, got tired of long-winded backstories or whatever.
Yep.
He just kind of rolls up. Which I was hoping they kind of just wouldn't explain what the deal was. They would just be like, yeah, he controls the robot, and then maybe at the end have him get killed to show that he was a robot the whole time, and then that was it. But that also probably would have made me laugh for how stupid it probably would have been.
Yeah.
He was a robot the whole time. Why was he a robot the whole time? Who knows? Credits roll. But here they actually were like, they have to give him a reason. Like, yeah, he killed him a long time ago. He's just been pretending to be him so he can kill all humans. But good movie.
Good movie.
I would personally give it like a 7 out of 10 for like that ending sequence and
like
just because it was not like even though the story was pretty typical and the plot the plot beats were pretty typical. It was like still. Like the jokes hit all the I loved all like the robot stuff, you know. So it's still a good movie, you know.
I still think it's a definitely need to be seen movie. Mm-hmm. I think more people need to watch it.
Yeah.
I still don't think I can give it above a 6. I think the action, like for like all the things that I like in a movie, they did really well. But all the things I just don't care for in a movie, they didn't do very well.
Because again, the main character is not very good to me at all. Like she's very typical main character type, like rebel girl. It's like they literally play rebel girl in like her first like montage sequence where she's growing up. Like
yeah,
like, okay, we get it. She's a punk, but she really isn't. She's kind of just an asshole to everybody and treats them like shit. Yeah. She's constantly just pissed off that there's robots everywhere, which is like okay, we get it, but you still have to interact in society, so. Cool.
But yeah, that was pretty much my entire week.
All right.
Cool.
I guess I'll go. So I've just been watching a lot more. Like a couple things. I've been watching a lot more Always Sunny. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've hit the season where like the hijinks go from like these are a bunch of shitty assholes doing wild, crazy things, to these are a bunch of very damaged individuals leading very sad lives.
Mm-hmm.
And
you hit the reality season.
Yeah, it's like now whenever like stuff happens, it's like, oof, that kind of sucks. Like now there's like X character's mom gets cancer and like this baby died, or this person's this person just wants to be loved, and it really gets to that point where you're like, okay, it's gone from being like these people aren't getting love and that's silly to these people aren't getting love and it's like you're watching it destroy their lives. Which, and, you know, it's like, okay, I can see why these people all became pieces of shit just over time. But it's still fucking, even still, it's still hilarious.
Okay.
Been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. You know, very goofy, very happy-go-lucky. You know, not a lot of super dark shit to keep you like up at night. Like Always Sunny, mostly just, hey, we caught the bad guy. Wasn't it so wacky? You know, which is it's like it's nice to kind of go back and forth because sometimes Sunny can get a little. It can be a little much after a while.
Yeah.
You know, you can only see so many dead animals before you're like, all right, I gotta watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine silliness. Virgil came out for PC. So playing like Dante and Nero is like, it's like eating like sour fruity candy, you know, sucking on a Jolly Rancher or something.
Mm-hmm.
But playing as Virgil is like eating chocolate. It feels so good to do. Just doing stuff with him, just everything comes out. It feels nice. It feels like you know, just it's good to have Virgil back. I hate that we had to wait for so long, but he's fun to use. Getting those triple S ranks, it's like they're just giving them away. It's so easy. If it were up to the game, you would just walk through every single level. You wouldn't sprint at all. You literally just walk through every single enemy, every single long ass section of a level. Just walk, because Virgil is too cool for that shit. But thankfully they put in sprinting and shit.
Well, that's good.
I've been playing a ton of Dragon's Dogma.
And you're pretty sure you're playing it wrong.
I'm 100% sure I'm playing it wrong. Because I was like, so I'm at like level 40 now, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I must be like halfway through maybe, right? Because I didn't feel like I had been through a lot of the game, and you know, a lot of the map was still undiscovered, and I hadn't done a lot of missions yet. Turns out I'm in stage 5 of 6, and I'm at the end of stage 5. So apparently the game doesn't like mark story missions or what is a story mission for you at all. You know, it like eventually you just kind of have to find the missions to advance the plot. So I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I was unintentionally advancing the plot for about 20 hours.
Oh my god.
So luckily, this game is also like, I think I'm also supposed to be running away from more stuff than I am, but since I'm stubborn as fuck, I'll just stick around and kill everything. When games are like, don't go out at night, all the enemies are stronger, to me that just says, if you want to grind levels, go out at night. So that's what I do, you know. So I spend a lot, like with this game is like, hey, don't go out at night, all the enemies are too tough, there's way too many enemies at a time, you know, they're always attacking you essentially. Sometimes like just dead skeletons will just rise in the road that you're walking on. I'm like, that's fine, I'll just fight everything.
Sounds about right.
So I'm like stupid over leveled for everything, which is fine, but I guess that kind of assisted me in just barreling through all these story missions I didn't realize were story missions. But it's still it's. I'm definitely gonna play it a few more times. It's like a Dark Souls mixed with Genshin Impacts, or like that style of game where you can have like you know what, maybe not Genshin Impact. It has like a lot of the climbing aspects and it's kind of similar like upgrade stuff, but it's tough to explain because you know you can run around and climb on rocks and discover new areas and shit, and you have like your team of people, but unlike Genshin, they actually follow you around and do stuff and fight with you, you know. So you have a team at all times usually, except the only member of your team who's actually worth the shit is the permanent one, who's your pawn, who's like basically just a second, you know, upgradable character. Mm-hmm. And the other two characters you can have follow you are just like people you recruit. Like the warrior class, which is like the big heavy class, is the only useful class for those two recruitment people. Because literally everything else, they just soak up damage and die. So just get the big tanky guys and just let them go to work, because they have so much health that even if they soak up damage, they won't die every 2 minutes, so you have to go run over and revive them. But other than that, like, I'm gonna say now, I really like this game, like, almost as much as I like any Dark Souls game.
Okay.
But it's very, but you know what? This is like a Dark Souls game for like Derek, because it's so much more forgiving, and like you're not dealing with even half of like just the bullshit that Dark Souls will put you through. You know, it's definitely way more you know, chill of an experience.
You know what's funny is I have actually played Dragon's Dogma, and I didn't care for it because it felt too fucking easy. I mean, like, it was okay, but it was like, if I'm gonna be spending my time with like this kind of shit, I'd rather be playing Code Vein or like Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, a lot of the difficulty in Dragon's Dogma actually just comes from paying attention to details, and not like, you know, forward-thinking movements or planning out like a route or something. Like in this, it's like if you get a mission and it says please do this urgently, you better do that shit urgently, because it will fail, and there's no going back to get the mission. You're just done. The mission failed, and now you've got beef with this guy, or now or you missed out on that experience.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Because I was like, no.
There is no next time,
motherfucker. We'll get them next time. You failed. Everybody died, and now you gotta live with that, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, like, I was doing a mission. The dude was like, "Hey, man, can you show my daughter around today? I have urgent business I have to take care of right now, but I also promised to show my daughter around. So when you get that mission, if you walk out of town and don't show her around, the mission will just fail." You know, it gives you like, I think it gives you like a amount of time before, you know, you have to actually do the mission. If you just don't, then the mission just fails. It's ridiculous, and I didn't realize that. I had another mission where they were like, come see me tonight, right? And I let like 3 or 4 days pass, and then the mission just failed. Just randomly. I'm doing something else completely, and I look up in the left-hand corner because I got a notification that says mission failed. And I was like, what the fuck? So and there's another mission where a guy will ask you to do something, but you get that mission, but if you accept another mission, then that other mission will become incompletable because it related to something that was in that second mission you started. You know? And so you have to pay attention to what people are asking you to do, and if your quests conflict, they will cancel one or the other out. Mm-hmm. So if I had known more about that, I probably would have been playing way
different.
Way more safer. I think I would just do every single mission I could
right away.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of missions I wasn't doing were like escort missions. I
I'll be
fucking hate
right
escort
back.
missions. You know.
Everybody does. I don't know why they keep putting them in games.
Right. So I was like, I'm just gonna save these for like the very end. But it turns out if you progress the story, sometimes those escort missions just disappear. They're time sensitive. So they'll just go away if you get too far in the story. Like they're based on the stages you're at. If you don't do them, you miss out. So I missed out on a ton of missions like that. Luckily, you know, I'm getting experience and money by just killing everything I come across. So, there's also this thing where if you're in town and you accidentally attack someone, or if you attack someone at all, because I have a bad habit of pressing square to talk to people, because there are a lot of games that do that. I think like, what was I playing? I think Wizard of Legend might be like that. Something is like that I was playing recently. But in this game, square is the attack button. So I'll run up to somebody in town and accidentally hit them with my fucking sword, and then a guard will run up and be like, "There's no use fighting," and then I'll fucking wake up in a prison, you know. So that has happened to me no less than like 6 times, because I just cannot help but hit these people. You know, they're just so hittable. Just my sword, and it's funny because like when you hit them, you'll get like the freeze, like the hit stop or whatever that you would get from like hitting a regular enemy, which is hilarious. There's also last thing, there's one bit where I had to, they gave me the option to basically stand by and watch a fight happen, which I did because I was like, oh, that must be what they want me to do. If I interfere, I'll just fail the mission or something. But it turns out that I could interfere, and that there was like one of 2 options that, you know, or no, like one of 3 options that this could have ended with, I decided to interfere way too late, because by then the person I was trying to help was already beaten, and the cutscene was starting, which sucked. But Dragon's Dogma just has so much shit where I'm like, man, if I had known this beforehand, you know, I wouldn't have fucked up so hard.
It is one of those games that, like, it really behooves you to play multiple times.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. Because, like, oh, also, so now that I'm actually playing Dragon's Dogma, thinking about the Dragon's Dogma anime, what a big pile of shit. What a complete piece of fucking trash that fucking anime was. Holy shit. So, do you guys remember about that chick who I thought was going to get raped by goblins that tried to fuck the main character of the Dragon's Dogma anime?
Sure.
Probably not, but... So, in that, she was like the wife of some merchant. In the actual games, she's like a duke's wife. She's a duchess, you know? She's basically a queen in this game. It's like downgraded her in the anime. Also in the anime, a girl named Mercedes shows up who's like a blonde hair, blue-eyed, like just kind of knight chick. In the game, you guys haven't read Berserk, have you?
I've seen bits.
Do you know who Casca is?
I do not.
Casca's like this short-haired, dark-skinned chick who's basically all just a knight, but she's just cool as shit. Mercedes in the game is Casca, but they whitewashed her in the anime.
Well, that is anime.
And it's a ton of shit like that, where it's like they took a thing from the game and just made it like generic garbage in the anime. It's super weird, which now I understand why people were saying this anime sucks, when I thought it was like fine. You know, I thought it wasn't great, but it was okay.
It's like a fine anime, but like it doesn't represent its source material at all.
Right, yeah. You know, people who love Dragon's Dogma were like, this is a big pile of shit. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it seems totally fine. And now playing Dragon's Dogma, I'm like, why did they even bother making it? Why
Not gonna lie.
bother making the anime?
I'm currently downloading Dragon's Dogma because you made it sound so much fun.
Because it's super fun. Like, stuff gets really cool later on, and like you're doing a lot of cool stuff, and dope shit just happens. Like, you could just be walking around the area by some cows, and a griffin swoops down, like a giant one, and grabs one of the cows and starts killing it. And you can just start fighting it right there. You know.
That's cool.
there was one bit where I was fighting a bunch of goblins, and a dragon just swooped down, and we had to fight the dragon too. You know,
Life do be like that.
it's it's super cool shit happens, and there's this cool so each like class has like cool shit, and you can like upgrade each one. But once you can also switch between classes freely. Like at first you have to pay for it, but once you have chosen that class, you can switch to it freely whenever you want. So that's another thing where they're trying to get you to play the game a fuck ton of times, which I will. Don't worry. But like, there's so much to do in this game. Even though like at first it doesn't really feel like it, they could probably give me a little more fast traveling. You know, this is this is Dark Arisen, which is the upgraded version of the original Dragon's Dogma game. So it's like more stuff. It's like Devil May Cry Special Edition almost. Like this, I don't know why it took me so long to get into this. Dragon's Dogma is fucking awesome. It's so fun. And you know what? The fact that I can climb on giant monsters and do shit, it's making me want to play Monster Hunter 2. So I might be picking up Monster Hunter World after this.
Okay.
I also have been wanting to pick that up, but mostly because I want to play with Kayla.
It looks fun. I've been, it's one of those things where I've been kind of, I guess, enjoying it from the outside, where I look at a lot of stuff, but I don't really engage at all. I don't play it. But
I've been wanting to play Dauntless more, so.
Why don't you play a real game? Is anyone even playing Dauntless?
Probably not.
I don't think
I
so.
mean, they have a community, but like
They do.
Every game has a community, but
that's not true.
fucking Samurai Showdown has a community.
I mean, there's some games that just don't have communities.
Yeah.
But
I guess, but I mean, if it's like attempting to be competitive at all, there's a community, like
Well, I mean,
for something, like unless you're like Battleborn or fucking Radical Heights.
I was gonna say, wait a second. Battleborn had a community.
Yeah, and then the game died. No, there's no community.
Yeah.
anyway, but I mean, there's still people playing it. But I don't know if they're adding a ton of new stuff right now. I used to be subbed to the subreddit, but it was always just like, check out this hunt, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't care. So
I know they just added a bunch of Christmas, winter stuff.
Speaking of oh, do you guys ever see any more like Raid Shadow Legends ads?
Yes.
You do?
Very rarely, but
I
they show up every now
never
and
see them anymore. Like not even like the like no YouTubers or podcasters pumping it or anything.
not
Or,
really.
I think
like-
they probably
like
spent
an,
so much money on it that they're like, all right, we're good.
Well, like not even like an ad, like not like ads on YouTube or anything, like just the skippable ones, just nothing. They used to even have like TV ads, and I don't see those anymore.
So, like, I honestly think they got enough players where they don't need to worry about, like, asking for more people to show up.
The one thing I have seen recently is that they were sponsoring a couple of Twitch streamers.
Where are they?
Yeah, and so like the Twitch streamers would just play the game in between like whatever they were doing. So like I saw it on Fog's stream. It's a League streamer, so between League games he was playing Raid.
Okay.
And I tried it out
so
because of him, and it was
So it
kind of
does
ass.
still exist.
Yeah,
Well, you say it was kind of bad.
yeah, it was. Like I don't know the best way to describe it, but like, it's like a fantasy clicker game, you know, and like, there's a lot of stuff where it's just like, I know you're trying to make me pay, but this is like egregious even for that, you know, because there was stuff where like, you guys know me, I don't really put more than 5 hours into a game before I decide if I'm going to keep playing it or not. I put like 5 hours into Raid, and I'm just like, I could keep doing this and theoretically like leveling up my dudes little by little, or I can just go play WoW and like actually get something done. And so I just uninstalled. Like,
Right.
it was so. Oh, the other thing too was that their fucking like in-house client or whatever the fuck, it didn't allow itself to be shut down, which was very concerning.
Okay, so it's like what is like those DRMs that just stay on all the time to make sure you're not pirating and shit or whatever.
I guess,
Cheating.
but like, it just like I was like trying to force close it and stuff, and it just wouldn't close. Like not even like shut down and reopen. It was just like shit wouldn't close, and so I was just like, okay, this needs to be uninstalled yesterday.
Super weird. Don't like that.
Yeah,
But
So,
yeah, I was thinking about it because I just never see any of those raid ads anymore. Like they were so like all over the place like last year and earlier this year, and they're just gone now. So I wasn't sure if like maybe the game just fucking ceased to exist after a while or what.
no, I think Kaz is right. I think they found their whales.
Yeah, they got what they needed. That makes sense.
Because like I said, like they apparently pumped a ton of money into the ads. So
Oh yeah, like
so
when you,
that
like,
Shade Rattle Red Legends money.
I think like one YouTuber I was watching said they offered him like $30,000 to do one ad spot on his podcast.
Yeah.
I was
So
like, God,
I'd take
damn.
that.
Hell yeah, just
The
do
game
one.
functions. That's enough for me.
Right, like that's the thing I hear. Like I hear it's not a bad game. It's just monetized to shit.
And
Yeah.
it's really, really boring outside of the tutorial.
Yeah.
I will say, the tutorial is the funniest part of the game, though. Because,
Really?
yeah, like, you have these, like, 4 super kitted out heroes, and, like, they go into a dungeon, and then this dragon just eats one of the bitches. Like,
Okay,
just
so that's
grabs
one
her
of
and
the
yeets her.
ads.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the first, like, 5 minutes of the game, but it is the funniest shit ever.
Okay.
Because they're, like, trying to set up this, like, fucking, like, ragtag group of, like, heroes that, like, has known each other for a long time, and, like, whatever. And then just, like, one of them gets killed, and then they all get destroyed.
Okay. I think that is the thing that kind of separates Raid from a lot of other stuff, is that they kind of were trying to sell it with a personality. Like they were like, here's the tone of our game, you know, which is like a lot of
You
stuff.
need that.
Yeah, because I think that and like Clash of Clans, they were really kind of trying to go for like a certain tone. But a lot of stuff is literally just play game, get number, look at anime girl, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ever get those ads that are like the really, really shitty phone games, and some dude's like voicing over it like the worst voice acting job you've ever heard in your entire fucking life.
Like he got his $20 headset from Walmart and is using
Yeah,
that mic.
like, yeah, like he got his $20 headset and then somebody fucking chopped him in the throat. And they're
Yeah.
like, all right, do the commercial. Yeah,
I think
it
my
was
favorite
super
one
weird.
is the fucking... I know PewDiePie made fun of it, but it was like this chick who was like very obviously not playing the game. And like she was like, wow, this one flies too, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like the only mechanic in the game. Like, how did you not get that? What?
What is that one that's literally just it's like life something? You literally just make decisions and then the game gives you like an outcome.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's the whole game. And it's
I kind of see the point of that though. It's
So,
like a visual novel.
I
So-
guess, but it's like you're literally just inserting like a number into a thing, and then it's pumping out like a randomly generated outcome. There's no like
Game,
skill or
really,
anything.
yeah.
There's no game, you know.
There's one that's similar to that, but what you do is you create different elements and stuff like that are belong in the world.
Oh, Doodle God.
Doodle God, yeah.
Dude, I love that game. That was the best
That-
busy time game.
I remember that game. That was on Newgrounds. Or somewhere. It was like a Flash game back in the day, or something similar to it.
Probably. I don't even doubt it.
It was definitely on my phone. Definitely
It was
had it on my
definitely
phone.
Yeah.
That shit was so much fun. Okay, hold on. Did you guys ever play Zombieville USA?
Zombie who?
Zombieville USA. I guess not. But like, it was this iPhone game like back in the day, like when iPhones first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe no. You need to at least have an iPhone 3 for Zombieville 2. But like Zombieville.
Farmville?
No. This is like it was like a side-scrolly like action game. Where you had to go around like killing zombies. It was a little bit like Left 4 Dead 2 if it was all like cutesy pixel art. And the first one was like a single player game, and it was just kind of like it was fun, but it was not super in depth. But like the second one had a multiplayer and like unlockable guns and shit. And
Okay.
it was really fun. Like it was like 99 cents, but like I had a bunch of friends who played it in band, and so we would all just play it on like the bus rides and shit. But just go around with like, I think co-op was 2-player, might have been 3. Oh, dude, yeah, no, it had to have been 3 because we always ran like 2 damage and 1 healer. Anyway, but like,
What like dumb phone shit were kids doing in like your middle school? Like when phones were becoming like a big thing, and having like a smartphone, like everyone had one. What was like becoming like? Did you guys have like a certain app everyone in your school was using, or a certain game everyone was playing?
For me, it was Twitter, because Twitter was pretty new, I think, at the time. And the other one that was really big and banned, and not really much elsewhere, was Tap Tap Revenge.
Tap Tap Revenge was pretty.
Yeah, that was pretty really fucking big in our band. But that's because there was a head-to-head mode.
That was massive, yeah. MySpace was fucking big, but that was before phones.
I was about to say, yeah, that had phased out by the time that like phones.
I remember every dude I knew had that fucking stupid ass gun app. That was just the it just fired the different guns.
Oh, I had that.
And it was,
yeah,
like,
I did too.
Up to people's heads and shit, or pointing at people and shit. It was retarded.
Yeah, it was dumb.
You like shake your phone, it would do the gun noise.
Also, there was the beer app.
Oh yeah.
Where as you tilt your phone, it would empty the beer.
I think my favorite, the one that I used the most was the fake call app.
Oh yeah. You actually use that?
Yeah. How do you think I got out of talking to my parents? I would they would like knock on my door. I would literally open the app and press start for like a minute, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm expecting a call for like homework though, and they'll be like, oh, okay, and then they would start to talk about something, and then I get the fake call, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta take this, sorry, like. It was
that would
useful.
work. I would get so much trouble.
Well, I mean, like I said, it was for homework.
Fucking throttled, Cameron, if you ever did some shit like that to your mom.
Yeah, my mom doesn't give a fuck if it's for homework.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Well, it's like my parents. This sounds really bad, but they never really had anything to say, anyways. And it's not like not even being a kid. It's just like they would come in and like talk to me about how my day was going, and it's like I'm depressed. Who cares? Like, you know. So, like, I didn't have anything to say back. So it was never a very fruitful conversation, but it would take forever.
I wish my parents would fucking understand that. They're like, what are you up to? Like, nothing. That should be the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
You shouldn't keep bothering me with shit.
I will say, that's the end of my conversations.
Yeah. I hate people do that shit where, like, you tell them nothing, and they're like, oh, come on, tell me. I'm like, no. It's
like, no, I've literally been sitting here just, like, clicking around on Reddit, and that's
it's either I've literally been sitting here doing literally nothing, or I have literally nothing that would interest you. You know, I've been putzing around, slapping my belly, and fucking spitting on my chest like a retard. What do you want from me? That shit gets annoying.
I will say, I had a phone call with my mom this last week, and one, she called me out of the blue. Don't do that. That's just rude. Two, I timed the call because I was curious. We talked about 5 things, and the call took 30 minutes. 5 things, and not like 5 full conversations. 5 things that were done in 2 sentences took 30 minutes. I am not okay with that.
I really just hate conversations about nothing.
If you call me and you should have a purpose. Number 1, because if you call me, you have my number, so just fucking text me. Yeah. And 2, it should be quick. I shouldn't have to listen to your story that you know I don't care about. You know?
It's always like, oh, I just want to hear your voice. It's like, well,
right? Oh god.
I have shit to do.
Okay.
Like, you know.
But like, I don't want to hear your voice.
Right? Yeah, right. I don't want to check out of my existence just to fucking satisfy your need to hear my voice.
Well, it's like, they say, like, my mom says that, and like, every time I'm like, okay, but mom, I have stuff to do. And she's like, well, aren't I important? And I'm like, not more important than paying my bills. Like, I'm glad I'm alive, I guess, but like whatever.
We weren't around each other for like 18 years.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
It's like it's like you wouldn't leave me alone for the majority of my life, and now that I'm away, you just can't not fucking call me.
Well,
you can't stand to not hear from me for like a week.
One of the funny things was that my mom was like, I was telling her like it's way easier to like deal with her and my dad now that I don't live with them because I just have more patience. And she was like, really? Like, it's easier to deal with you or to deal with us if you don't live with us? And I'm like, yes, because all the stupid shit that you do, I don't have to interact with on a daily basis.
Right.
And she's like, we don't do stupid stuff. And I'm like,
I don't have
Mom.
to bullshit around and pretend that I'm just gonna listen to whatever you tell me to do. I'm not in the roof anymore. Like I don't have to sit here and listen to you do whatever it is, you know, that parents do to piss off their kids anymore. I can literally just walk away. You know, you're so like you have the option to leave, so you're more willing to deal with bullshit instead of you're forced to listen to the bullshit, and now, you know, you're resentful and angry, and you don't want to fucking come to a solution about anything.
Yeah, well, and like the other thing too is that you just don't have to deal with it every single day, and that's way more important.
Oh yeah,
that is actually pretty important. Yes,
my stress levels are way down.
Yeah, I fucking love living on. Well, I guess I'm not living on my own. I'm living with roommates, but like I'm so happy not living with my parents.
Yeah.
You're getting on my fucking nerves, all right?
Hey, fuck you, bitch.
You are dead meat. I want to apologize.
Living independently.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. I guess. Hold on, let me just talk about my week because I've already been bitching about it. I dyed my hair blue, so that's a thing.
Okay. Now you're one of those. Great. Nah, you're that guy. Have you seen those like insurance ads where the dude's like showing around all these people who are becoming their parents, and there are two guys in like a home department store or like a home workshop store, and like a guy with blue hair walks by, and the dude showing them around is like, we all see it, and the two guys go, blue hair.
What? No.
Okay, I'll find it and I'll link it to you guys at some point, but yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. No, so that was fun. Although like fucking my bath looks like it's got a Smurf murdered in it.
Kill Smurfs, like that South Park episode.
What else did I do? I played Final Fantasy 13. I played some more of that. I played like 3 or 4 hours of that this week, which was nice.
Which one?
The first one.
Okay.
Yeah. I do have all of them, and I'm trying to get through them because I spent like $5 on the 3-pack, and I really should get my $5 out of it. But I mean, it's like it's one of those games where I'm just like, this is just interesting enough for this to be my busy time game where I'm not actively wanting to do anything, but not quite interesting enough for me to really give a shit. But it is very pretty.
Yeah.
That game is like ridiculously pretty for how long ago it came out. It came out like 2012 or something.
I'm kind of always like, no matter what, even if I don't care about the game, I'm always kind of blown away by Square Enix's like the way shit looks in their Final Fantasy games. You know.
2009.
Yeah.
The first one came out in 2009, and it still looks fantastic.
I still look at fucking Advent Children and go, damn, this shit looks good.
Yeah, it's like, what the, like, I realize that it's not a super, like, complex game, because it's mostly just, like, fucking mash square, or mash the confirm button until you win the game.
Right.
But, like, it's just beautiful to look at. Although...
I put that ad in the Drowning in Pools chat, BT dubs.
Fucking, can we stop releasing PC ports that don't have a borderless windowed mode? Like, please.
Yeah, that's super annoying, but I feel like that's a thing that mostly older games do. I think newer games kind of understand.
Yeah, I feel like it's default for newer games.
Yeah.
But, like, it is super fucking annoying because, like, I either run it in full screen or I run it in, like, a windowed mode. But they only have 2 resolutions. They only have, like, 1280 by 720 or 1980 by 1080. Or 1920 by 1080. And it's like, it's either full screen and a little bit off my screen because you can't get rid of the bezel on the top for the fucking window, or it's tiny. Like 1600 by 900 is the best resolution for a windowed game.
Tried adjusting, I guess, like your actual screen,
like the launch parameters. Well, okay, so I mean, there's not much I can do about that, honestly.
Yeah.
Just because, like, of
Because
how
if it has to fit the
windowed
screen,
part of it,
then,
yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's fine. It's just like, out of all the options you give me, you either give me the 720 option or the full screen option. Why did you not give me a 1600 by 900 option? That is the fucking premier, like, real estate space if you have a 1080 fucking monitor.
For me, the best games are the ones that just read your settings and do it for you. Dope. You know, they just look at like, all right, your TV is your settings on your PC are this big, or your TV is this, so we'll just fit. You know, the resolution will work. It won't be 480 or some bullshit. You know.
Yeah, I will say, like, I fucking hate games that that do that, where they start in like 800 by 600 or some shit.
Yeah.
It is the worst.
Fucking Guilty Gear does the Guilty Gear damn, super long, extra long name. Accent Core does that, where it boots up like in the middle of my fucking screen, like all small and shit. I'm like, why?
Oh, dude, you know what game actually does that?
Mm-hmm.
Like a semi-recent game is Battlefield 3.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. So like, it runs. I admittedly I like it better than a lot of other full screen solutions, but essentially what it does is it runs in like a small like 800 by 600 window, and then every time you activate the app to like click into it, it like balloons up to the full screen, which is like cool. Like it works, I guess.
Right.
But it is just really weird. Oh, that's the other thing I was doing this week was I played Battlefield 3 with Kayla Keon. Because it was free on, or it's still free on Prime Gaming, I think. But
I would say I picked it up.
shit is fun as fuck. I forgot. Also, I cannot fly a jet on PC. Like, that shit is impossible. Having, like, so on the controllers, you know, like, when you press up, there's technically, like, no limit to the up, right? Because, like, theoretically, you just keep holding up forever, and then you'll continuously get an up input. You can't do that on a mouse. So flying the jets is way fucking harder, because you can't, like, do the, fucking, like, what's it called? The, like...
I didn't even think about that.
use, like, the vertical use to, like, turn around and stuff. Well, yeah, I didn't think about it either until I was playing the fucking game, and I'm just like, oh, I'm stuck at, like, a 45-degree angle. I have to reset my mouse and, like, fucking scrub it. So that was weird, but...
Like, you know what a way you could solve that is if, like, you had a button that reset where your mouse position was. So that way, if, like, you're flying in one direction, you can press it so it stays in that place. You can move your mouse without it actually moving the mouse on the screen.
I mean, a more elegant solution to that would just be if my mouse is theoretically at the top of the window, just keep going up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like the nose of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
plane or jet should just go up.
Yeah, but... Or, like, I would even be okay with it if there was a spot where you could hold... Like, if you wanted to, like, go directly up and, like, make it a quick movement, you, like, go all the way up, but if you just hold it, like, slightly above center mass, or center line or whatever, like, it goes up continuously, but there's no option for that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, fuck. Also, the people in that game are really fucking good. Like, they've had, like... God, I think... I want to say it was released in 2011. I did the research with Keon, because we both remember playing it on, like... what's it called? We both remember playing it on Xbox. Yeah, it was 2011.
Yeah, I bet those people who've been playing since they're super happy to have a bunch of fucking new noobs on there fucking wax.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, most of them aren't that good at shooting. But they're really good at the vehicles.
Yeah.
So, like, you get in a fucking, like, chopper, or you get into, like, a jet, and you just get, like, mowed down by, like, seeker missiles that you just haven't unlocked yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a shame. It was a lot of fun, though, and, like, it's kind of fun just fucking around. So, can't really complain too much. That was most of my week, though. I played Final Fantasy and worked, and... Oh, okay, I gotta show you guys this purchase that I made. This, really smart purchase.
Intelligent purchases coming in.
Yeah.
Well
I'll see if I can
thought
find
out,
it on
responsible
Reverb, because
purchase.
I bought it on Mercari, but... Yeah, this is essentially the same one that I bought. I'll just put it in the chat.
Oh shit. Monster. Wow.
Awesome.
Oh my god. Admittedly, I got it for like $300, so it was a little bit cheaper, but...
Nice.
Yeah, well, like, I was browsing through Mercari for, like, just... Because sometimes if you don't go on, like, a specific, like, musician's kind of website, you'll be able to find, like, better deals on stuff because people don't know what they have. And, like, I found that one for, like, $300 with shipping included, and I was just like, well, that shit needs to be mine.
It's like, this isn't like a custom thing, is it? This is just like, they made a bunch that are like this, and...
Yeah, it was, like, I think it was for, like, a sweepstakes or something like that. Okay. So I'm kind of banking on it holding its value at least a little bit.
Is it like a resale? Like, does somebody else have this and then they're
Yeah, this was definitely like somebody's previous like
right?
guitar, but like I've been wanting a Flying V for a while, and like this one's just trolly enough for me to be like, yeah, this works. So, and like I'm hoping that if I need to, I can sell it for basically like the same price I bought it. So
Yeah.
but
I feel like this needs to be in my collection, though.
yeah, well, I was like, oh, that's a little like I was looking at the price and I was like, that's a little high. I don't really need another guitar, and then it dropped like $50, and I was just like,
I suppose.
yeah. Well, it's like at that point, like I'm getting a guitar shape I've been wanting, and like I showed it to Kayla, and she was like, you should probably get that guitar, and I was like, really? She's like, yeah, you've been looking for that for a while, and it like kind of just fits you. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a good point. And then like it dropped to $50, and like it was like it's in 3 people's carts right now, and I'm just like, I should probably buy this soon. She's like, yeah, and I was like, I'll buy it when I get home. And she's like, it may not be there. It was really funny, but it was an exciting purchase, so it'll probably come next week.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't
Pretty
get
cool.
fucking destroyed in shipping. I've also never owned a Schecter guitar, so I'm excited because those are like the shreddy guitars that like Avenged Sevenfold, like their lead guitarist use, and a bunch of other people like that. So I'm curious. I'm curious about them.
Well, you'll have to tell us about it, because that sounds cool.
Yeah, I will let you guys know.
I actually can't wait to see a picture with you on Twitter with you holding the guitar, drinking a Monster with a Monster backwards cap on, and like a Monster jacket.
Shirt, Monster
I don't have anything Monster besides the cans.
Monster
Oh damn!
I'll put a can on my head.
So what you need to do? No. What you do is you get a knife. You cut the cans open, and you make your own clothes out of the cans.
Oh god, oh. How about no? Dude, honestly, I think the Monster logo looks sick. And so, like, I've been wanting to buy, like, one of those just, like, hats that just has the Monster logo on it, but I cannot find them anywhere.
Really?
It just has...
I would assume they'd have tons of snapbacks everywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I feel like I could just look in the garbage and there would be one.
That's the thing, is, like, I've been trying to find them, but they all say, like, Monster Energy or, like, some other, like, bullshit logo.
Right. Not
Gotcha.
just
the
claw
M.
slash, whatever.
Yeah. Like, the Claw Slash is sick, but, like, everything else just kind of sucks dick.
Right.
So, anyway.
And it's like you couldn't get one that's like just the claw slashes and like a different color still, because everybody would be like, oh, it's the fucking Monster M.
Yeah. It looks like there's some on eBay, but, like, I don't really trust eBay.
Yeah.
Anyway. So...
Speaking of not trusting, Cyberpunk.
They punked you out of your money.
CD Project Red. They punked you out of your money, and then they punked you when they punked you by telling you get your money back.
So that's only for Sony, right?
So far, I believe so. Yeah, but also, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And that's only for last gen, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because okay. But you know the funny thing is that with all the people complaining about the bugs, the people that I've talked to like in person that are playing it are like, "What do you mean bugs?"
Well, that's the thing. Like, the game is still like good and playable on things that run it well.
Yeah.
You know, but on old hardware, which honestly isn't even really a good excuse, but on old hardware it'll probably look like shit. But let's also not forget that The Witcher is out on PS4 as well, and it looks amazing. God of War looks amazing. Ghost of Tsushima looks amazing. These are all PS4 games that also are now out on the PS5, right? And they all look great. But Cyberpunk can't look good. What'd you guys do? Plus, as it's come out, there are like a bunch of like times where they're like, oh no, it looks amazing on PS4, and they're like actively deceiving people.
Yeah.
About how it looked on old last gen.
Admittedly, I think the thing that you posted specifically in the chat of the Twitter logs is more of an issue with Sony than it is with Project CD Red. But
they should have cleared it with Sony. They shouldn't be promising, hey, call Sony and you'll get your money back, when that's not true.
I mean, they probably did, and then Sony was like, we're losing way too much money.
I don't think they did at all. I feel like they wouldn't have said this at all if they even tried to clear it with Sony. They wouldn't have said, get your refunds back. They would have just been like, hey, sorry, but we promise we'll make the game better, and then that's it. But they're even going as far as going to be like, hey, call Sony and Microsoft, and they'll definitely give you your money back. And it's like, will they?
I mean, just by consumer law, they have to. Because essentially you purchase
consumer law in America.
Yeah, but there's also international consumer law that will cover this.
Sure, but companies go left and right on those laws all the time and break them literally left and right, like all the time. I know Japan does, especially when it comes to copyright.
Yeah, well, luckily no one in Japan plays video games.
That's true.
They're all playing Nintendo.
Video game.
Yeah,
and that's not video games. That's
they're playing the little card games from like the.
They're all playing with the Labo and that kind of shit. No video games though.
Yeah, no, like I get it, and like I also think that the Cyberpunk shit is like really, really fucking dumb. Like it should have been handled better by Project Red, but like also like this Twitter post is just like straight up PlayStation, like Sony not
it's just Sony,
accepting responsibility.
Which
it's
Sony
like,
is notorious for not wanting to give people back their money, which also makes me think they didn't clear it with Sony, because why Sony would never be like, yeah, sure, totally, you would totally, absolutely, 100% have your money back. Because I've tried to return things with Sony, and I've been left on the phone for like literally 2-3 hours, right? So I know Sony does not like returning stuff. They do not like when people try to return stuff and giving people their money back.
and it's like, even if... So, like, let's say they didn't clear it, because I think you're probably right. But, like, even if... I have read, believe it or not, I actually read the terms and conditions of all the stuff that I agree to. Because I'm a fucking nerd. And, like, Sony's and Microsoft's both say, like, if you purchase faulty hardware or software through their stores, you are entitled to a refund.
Yeah.
Which
The other thing this guy says in the post, he's like, I am entitled. Like, he even goes, I have faulty hardware, I'm entitled to my money back. And he's basically, I shouldn't even go into this whole rigmarole.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is that in Sony's, it doesn't matter if it's new or not.
Yeah.
There's no specifications of whether if it only applies to new content. So, like, they are technically entitled to a refund. So it's just like fucking.
This whole, like, they could not have
fucked this up harder.
Right, like CD Projekt Red just made every single wrong decision they could have possibly made. They went from being like beloved to being the new Blizzard or BioWare or Bethesda, the 3Ds.
Yeah.
Like it's. Did you see the new thing today?
No. What happened?
From GOG. So you remember that game Devotion that amazing horror game that got pulled down because it made fun of Xi Jinping, the fucking prime minister or whatever of China. So that got pulled down, but it came back because GOG was like, yeah, we'll have it up on our store. But this morning they were like, due to the numerous messages we've got from gamers, we've decided not to list Devotion on our store. Awesome, guys. The game that everybody wants to play because it's amazing, that got pulled down because of Chinese oppression, that was finally coming back, that everybody was excited to give you money for, you decided not to list it on your store because why? Because China said not to. Cause it definitely wasn't a bunch of gamers who were like, please don't put this game up on your store. Like, I cannot believe they're basically just doing a Nintendo and throwing gas on the fire when everybody's already pissed off at them.
Yeah.
So it's so weird. It's so like, I don't know. I don't know. This might be it for them. Like, they were talking about, hey, we want to do another fucking Witcher, but we'll see. They might not even survive this shit. Like, they're talking about making Cyberpunk better, which, because Cyberpunk will be like their only game for like the next 5 or 6 years or some shit probably. I'm sure they will make it better, and I'm sure they will make it work on fucking last gen consoles, but I mean, by then the damage has already been done, and it's not going to be like a No Man's Sky situation, you know?
Yeah, especially say that the new generation of consoles is going to be like all that really matters within the next probably 2 years. I'd say 2 years is the fade out period for an old console.
I think they should wait another year to put out Cyberpunk. Cause
I think so.
Even the versions that are like all they're actually nice and good to play are still buggy and filled with bullshit. They're still kind of fucky.
Guess what company knows how to not put their stuff out too early?
Most. Oh, not put their stuff out too early.
Yeah.
I don't know. FromSoft.
FromSoft. Hell yeah. Do you guys care about Elden Ring? We said our thing about Elden Ring. Goodbye.
Elden Ring.
Okay, before you guys get on this shit, what is this fucking SNK shit?
They're making a console.
Yeah, no, I see that, but like, do we have any more information about it?
Nope.
Cool.
But it's gonna bridge the needs between somebody and gaming enthusiasts, passionate players and gaming enthusiasts or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever that means.
So I don't know. Maybe like they're doing Atari, like what Atari is doing, and they're doing like a weird, like a PC console, because that is like the new thing where you just make like Sony and Microsoft are doing it. Atari's putting out the emulation thing, their machine that can just be emulated. Like they're probably just gonna put out like some sort of easily emulated little console that will have like all this shit on it.
At that point, I'd rather just fucking run it on my PC. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I like clicked on it and was just like, okay, that's kind of cool, but like I don't see anything else. Like,
I mean, this will just go in the pile with like the Ouya and that other.
yeah,
thing.
like at what fucking point do people realize that making their shit like a new console is just not profitable?
Like it's too late. Like first of all, you're competing with Xbox and Sony and Nintendo, who have a fucking stranglehold on the gaming market. Building consoles alone, you have to build them at a loss,
Pretty much.
And SNK, I think they just got bought by some Chinese company, but they're gonna be hella confused when they're not making any money off these consoles, because damn near all of SNK shit is already on PC or other platforms. And no one's going to want to buy a brand new thing.
They're going to make the consoles so cheap that they want to be in every single household. And then, when everyone expects them to just be a normal console, they're going to explode because they're actually a mechanical villain. And they walk around with a villainous robot named Ares.
A robot that controls them secretly. I mean, that's what I expected those Amazon Echoes to do, or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Like someone gave me one of those, and I was like, why would I put a listening device in my fucking house? I already have like 1,000. Why would I just put an extra one in there?
Because you already have 1,000. What's one more?
Because fucking, what's it gonna do? I have to talk to it and have it do what for me? Play music? I can do that on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I just never fucking understood.
Well, it's what was in the fucking movie. Everybody was like brainwashed by technology and just having it be super convenient. And it's like, how convenient do you need shit to be, dude? Like, all you need to do is walk across the room and do something, or literally look at your phone and move your thumb and do something. Do you really need to talk to a fucking machine to do stuff for you?
There was one super disturbing thing in Next Gen that I forgot to mention. The fucking toilets.
They're alive.
They're alive. That is creepy as fuck.
I couldn't do it, dude. There's no fucking way I'd ever sit on a toilet that was like, "Hi, how you doing?"
Yeah, no, I couldn't. Like, especially that it moved. Like
right.
The fact that it not only says
around and shit.
Yeah, not only did it say hi, it also moves.
Like
that at that point,
shit, is it like good job? Is it like yummy?
I could use that.
It gives you like a little pat on your back.
Yeah, dude.
Because it had arms too.
Yeah. Does it wipe for you as well?
Right.
Dude, I would pay good money for that. Let's be real.
Does it massage your fucking colon and your bladder so you shit and piss better?
Yeah.
Super weird.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna have to go with the hole in the woods.
Yeah. I'll wipe with a fucking leaf, thank you.
I'll bring toilet paper with me. I'm not a degenerate. I'm not a degenerate. I'm just not.
I'm at this point. I'm assuming that you don't even have to wipe for yourself anymore. I bet the robots do it for you. I bet
they don't have toilet paper.
It's just like a bidet.
Yeah. Nevertheless, couldn't do it.
Because think about like the main character's house, and just how like literally everything was a robot. From like her hairbrush to her trash can.
Yo, the toothbrush scene was hilarious.
The toothbrush scene was awesome. That was genuinely fucking hilarious. That's what I mean. Like all the robot stuff was really good.
Yeah, all the robot stuff was really good.
But anyway, we talked about that already.
Yeah, we did.
But damn, CD Projekt Red, why'd you do this?
Why you gotta be
Why'd
like
you,
this?
I do hope, because like for the most part they've done pretty well with their shit. So like I'm kind of hoping that this gets turned around, you know?
But it's like, I do too, because I used to like this company. You know, they seem to want to do right by the consumer and by their own employees until recently. But you know, they did in like the dev time in like the last like couple years, really in like the last few months, they did what most companies take years to do, which was just go completely bad will, go from only goodwill to completely just bad will. And just because like
I think the game, honestly, I wish they would have just said we're pushing it back a year and a half, 2 years.
They should have pushed it back, and they shouldn't have put it out for last gen consoles.
They should not have put it out for last gen
Like
consoles.
that's a thing people don't want to talk about either. Is like whenever you are releasing stuff for last gen consoles as well, you're holding back the better versions too.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
The other thing though is like I kind of get why they would want to keep it for the last gen consoles, because like that's where they did most of their development, right?
Right, and because they announced it like a million years ago. You know,
Yeah.
so they're like, yeah, it'll definitely come out for this gen. So.
Lol.
Yeah, it's just, and you know what? Like I know it's like, you know, well they kept delaying it. I thought you guys wanted them to release it. But it's like they kept teasing everybody, and that's why everyone just wanted them to release it, because they kept being like, oh, it's coming out this day, it's coming out this day, it's coming out this day.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
guess if they just said like once more, just being like, it's going back for a year. Fuck it, just
Right. Just if they had literally just been like, look, guys, please be patient.
shit's not ready.
Not. Don't worry, guys. We're started, but it might take a while. Be patient. This game is going to take a long time to make. Because it's like their most ambitious game.
They also announced it really early.
Right. Could you imagine if this had come out like, because this was originally supposed to come out, well maybe not originally, but like this was supposed to come out at some point when FF7 remake was coming out.
Yeah.
Dude, if you get beaten to the punch by the Final Fantasy VII remake, that's a bad sign.
Well, even then, like think about it competing with Final Fantasy VII coming out around the same time. Like this game would have been fucking like if it had come out like this.
Yeah.
Or even in an earlier state and come out against FF7, this game would have been demolished.
Yeah.
Like there would be no like, you know, everybody was like, oh, the FF7 remake isn't really a remake, it's more like a side thing because it changes the story or whatever. People were grumbling about the story, but
the game fucking worked.
There wouldn't have been nothing. Everybody would have been like, oh yeah, FF7R is just the most godlike perfect game ever, because look at Cyberpunk, which had, you know, nearly as much development time, and, you know, it just came out looking like shit and compared, like, you know, the last thing it would have needed was a fucking competition, which is probably the reason they delayed it so much, because every time they released it, they wanted to release it, it was probably coming out with something that would kick its ass, and they weren't done yet.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It really feels like the Cyberpunk dev cycle, like it went from being like, well, we might never see this game to like, oh, a couple years later it's already out. You know, it feels like it went real fast.
Well, the other thing too is like, I'm probably gonna pick it up, but only once it goes on sale and once everything's fixed. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And like, then I'll probably pick it up and be like, yeah, this is a pretty good game. But like how much?
Like the Devil May Cry definitive edition, the DMC definitive edition, where
oh yeah,
the
like
original
I played that one
is trash, but the
version I played was really fun.
Yeah.
So like, but like, that kind of brings to like light the question of like, how good is the release cycle, like, or a release system like the one we have, where you can day zero patch shit, you know?
Yeah, well, you really just put out a big pile of shit, and then day one patch fixes most things. So it's like you don't even really have to put out like a real finished game, you know?
Yeah, well, it's like fucking, like, you could have like Kingdom Hearts, like the original pressing, you know? There's shit in that game that like bugs out, or like these original Assassin's Creed. It's a great example. There's a literal game-breaking bug that you can't escape from, but like, it's still a fantastic game, and they could have patched that out, but they just never got around to it. Or they didn't care enough, because let's face it.
They just moved on.
Yeah, made Assassin's Creed 2. But, like, I kind of miss the... And this makes me sound like such a fucking boomer. But, like, I kind of miss the days where you would just play a game. Like, you would just put it in, and it would just fucking work, and there weren't 60 gigabytes of updates, you know? Yeah. And, like, a game had to be finished when it was pressed. You know, and there weren't fucking delays, because when you press a game, it's like 6 months in advance, you know?
Right.
So, like, I like the fact that people can continue to update their game, and if there are game-breaking bugs, they will fix them, for the most part. But, like, it's definitely coming at the cost of, like, being excited and being able to play game day one. Because you should wait, like, 2 or 3 months just to see if it gets fixed. You know, like, it's gonna have bugs now. Like, that's just a guarantee. Like, obviously that was a guarantee before, but, like, I feel like more game-breaking bugs are released nowadays and then just patched after the fact.
Right.
That it makes more sense to just wait. Like
before games would have a game-breaking bug, but it would be in a very, very, very specific situation usually.
Yeah.
And you could avoid it somehow.
It feels like they don't have QA testers. I think that's the thing. Is like,
well, it's yeah, because here's the thing: they do have QA testers, and they're actually pretty good at their jobs. Just these people ignore them because fixing stuff has work. You know, it includes work. So.
Or it's like, we got to meet this deadline. Like, right. I hear you, but like, we'll just patch it out later. But like, that should not be the mentality.
I mean, on top of that, games like these, there's so many different like scenarios that cause the bugs to happen. Even if you can recreate it every single time perfectly, does not mean that there's a simple fix for it.
Well, yeah, but like, I just meant in general, games have been getting buggier and buggier on release day, and like, that's
because they're they're crunching their employees and rushing through trying to get this shit made, and then shit slips through and nobody's fixing it. You know, and then when people are complaining about it, they could just be like, all right, well, we'll just patch it later, you know? You're like in the middle of development, and you're like, hey, we missed this thing. It's like, whatever, we'll fix it later. Just put out this mediocre C+ product, and then we'll make it to a B- later.
Can you make it to the end of the game? Okay.
Right.
Probably not.
No, can you make it to the game? Not if you have a wizard build.
Yeah. Can you? No.
Can you? Yes. Specifically, only if you pick the 2 main classes. Right. Any subclass? Yeah, no, you ain't making it.
Can you get to the end of the game? Yes, as long as your hair is cut in a certain way and you're wearing these specific boots.
As long as you don't take these 3 hairstyles, then don't we just take the hairstyles out of the game? Don't have time.
Don't have time.
Yeah,
might mess something else up.
I don't know. Like, when I was younger and stupider, I thought the like release cycles or release methods like Steam, like, you know, Origin or whatever, like, they were good because it meant that if there was a game breaking bug, people could just patch it out day one and then nobody would have to like experience it essentially. Yeah. But it's been like abused. Yeah, pretty much.
It went from being like a very cool, helpful thing to now it's like a crutch.
And the other thing too is that like, I don't buy physical copies of much anymore. Like, I buy Switch copies, basically, and that's kind of it. Or unless I see, like, a really good deal at, like, I found some video games at Kohl's that were, like, $10 each. But, like, I don't have physical copies of games anymore. So, like, if there's a patch that happens, and, like, I download the game, and, like, I want to start it up, and it needs to patch, it's like, well, guess I'm fucked. Like... And it just annoys me. Whatever. Let's move on.
You know, Nintendo doesn't really have this problem as much. Their games are never really They're never really broken.
Yeah.
Like their game, they have very good quality control over at Nintendo. They never really release anything that's like
Their games are just bad. Like they're never poor because of the quality of the coding. It's just a bad game.
Right, the game's usually just poorly made for whatever reason, like the controls or gameplay's just not good. It's never Link clipped through the fucking wall and now I can't get out in fucking Twilight Princess or something.
Well, there is a lot of really wonky shit in what's it called? Breath of the Wild. There's a lot of wonky shit.
I think that's because I think the Switch is a little different because I was looking at a story earlier where they're playing what was that game called, the new Muso for Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity or whatever.
Oh yeah, the prequel.
Someone was like, you can crash your Switch playing that game. Like there was somebody saying that they were running it and they could feel their Switch getting hot in their hands and that the frame rate would like die. So.
Well, yeah, that's because they're trying to play the Switch as a mobile console.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, and also as like because since it's a Muso game, there are like 1 billion enemies on screen.
Yeah.
So.
But
that's like a very extreme situation, right? Like most Nintendo games, you're not going to be doing shit like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this last thing. This Callisto Protocol.
Oh yeah, so PUBG won't die. So much so that a new game from the developers of Dead Space is set in its universe. The Callisto Protocol.
I didn't even realize there was a universe for PUBG.
There isn't.
Oh, that explains it.
It's literally I think when it first came out, there was just there's no story. It's just literally people just drop in and then battle royale. But I guess now they're doing the PUBG extended universe and putting the Callisto Protocol set in it. So, this really can't be the last thing because as much as I don't really want to talk about it, some other things happened at the Video Game Awards.
Oh damn, dude, come on.
But
okay.
We won't talk about them all. We'll really just talk about the one thing because who cares about most of that shit. Oh, and also Crimson Desert looks pretty cool. Fist looks cool. Callisto Protocol made by the old Dead Space guys. Who knows what that's going to be about. And then I don't know. Sephiroth is in Smash, I guess.
Sephiroth is in Smash, which is pretty cool.
I guess.
If Nintendo wasn't being Nintendo, I would agree with you.
Right. If Nintendo wasn't being a bunch of dicks about everything lately, I'd be like, that's cool, but guess what? I don't give a shit.
I will say that trailer was fucking cool, though.
The trailer was cool. I'm not really keen on Sephiroth being the new character or whatever, being a new playable character. It's like, whatever, Sephiroth. It could have been literally anyone else. I would have been more excited because it's just another FF7 rep. They could have made it like...
okay, this is why Crimson Desert looks so familiar. It's just Black Desert Online.
Yeah, it's why Black Desert guys, yeah.
Gotcha.
But, just, like, if they had chosen, like, any other Final Fantasy character not from 7, I'd care a little more.
Dude, give me Leon.
Even if it was like, Leon would be cool. But even if it was like Lightning, I'd be like, well, it's at least it's from a game that was, that's big, I guess. It was like people either love it or hate it, so it's talked about enough to warrant a place, I guess. But yeah, Leon probably would have deserved it way more though.
Or like Yuna or Tidus from Final Fantasy X.
Like I get it, like Sephiroth's cool and all, but can Cloud just get a break? Cloud just get away from this motherfucker for one game, please.
At least Tifa's not there yet.
I love all the memes that came out of it.
Oh yeah, the fact that they did like that he stabbed Mario thing, even though he really didn't, and then the memes that came from that was pretty good.
Did you guys see the scene hits different from Kingdom Hearts 2?
Oh no! Wait, what?
So the scene in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you beat Sephiroth, you watch those. Cloud and Sephiroth fight, and they go, "We're going to a different universe to fight
right. They
to finish their fight."
About that.
They just go to Smash universe.
Oh my god,
That's pretty good. I mean, that's how, cause that's what they're becoming, right? Like they're just crossing over into so many shit. Like when you're like a popular crossover character, you start to become like this dimension hopping dude, this dimension hopping adventurer, just going from place to place fighting like random superheroes and shit. Like Shovel Knight, how Shovel Knight is like a guest character in a billion games. You know,
Brawlhalla, which I still have not played. I've downloaded it, still have not played it.
that's that free one, isn't it?
Yeah.
My little bro's in that. But yeah, the video game awards.
All right, so what exactly do you want to talk about?
Nothing. That was it.
That was it.
So they like. I guess we could talk about how much of a robotic shit show it was and how funny it was to watch everybody just kind of stand around all.
Nah, let's not. I don't have the vitriol in me.
It's just no. It's not even vitriol. It's just what is even. I don't get the award shows are pointless to me. Like utterly beyond pointless. You know, they're always usually the people who decide who wins what are just like, you know, people who are completely out of touch with what the general public cares about or what actually good video games are. Because Last of Us basically swept. It won.
Although
like,
Hades got a good amount of wins too.
Hades won like twice.
I think twice.
And then the Among Us people won a couple times, which is nice to see because they went from being like a game nobody played a couple years ago to being one of the biggest games ever. Because it basically did what Fortnite did to PUBG. It did to Fall Guys what Fortnite did to PUBG, where Fall Guys was getting real popular, and then suddenly this came around, and it already existed, but then it kind of just got big for whatever reason, and then blew the other thing out of the water.
Did you hear?
We're now. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you hear about how Among Us 2 got canceled?
Yeah, so they could, this started getting big, and then they were like, okay, well, we'll just work on this first game.
Yeah, and we'll just make it
which
better.
Is super cool. Yeah, I wish more stuff did that. Like, there really shouldn't be an Overwatch 2. It should be just Overwatch that they update over and over and over again.
I mean, I'm torn on that because I agree, but also
I thought that was the plan.
So
I thought they were just gonna update it and then be like, all right, well, here's some new stages, characters, and just basically infinitely update that forever.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead
first.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say for that whole aspect, it depends on what kind of updates. If you're just changing like character balance and stage design and stuff, yeah, it's fine with just updating it indefinitely. But if you want to change mechanics, like full-on mechanics or how things work as a general thing, that's when you need to make a second game.
Well, the other thing too,
mechanics.
That Overwatch 2, yeah. So this is the other thing is that Overwatch 2, the multiplayer is the same multiplayer as Overwatch 1, and you will be able to play with Overwatch 1 people. Like, on the same maps, you have the same, like, everything.
Yeah.
The difference is that Overwatch 2 has the single-player stuff.
Oh, that's right, because they definitely couldn't have just made that and attached it to regular Overwatch.
I'm not saying it's justified.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there is technically a point.
Well,
they came up with a reason. Not a good reason, but a reason.
There's no mechanic change in the single player, though. It's still the same type of shooting and everything, right?
I don't know, because it's not out yet.
Oh, I thought it was already...
I assume so.
Wait, it's not out yet?
No, it's out in 2021.
Yeah.
Really? I thought, this got announced, 4 years ago, right?
No,
Overwatch 2?
Yeah.
It got announced, last year, I think.
Last year, yeah.
I felt like that was forever ago.
Nah, there have been rumors about it for a long ass time because people were joking about it. People were like, "What if they released Overwatch 2?" And then they were literally like, "Here's Overwatch 2."
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I guess I don't know, just Overwatch 2 is really, especially since they're trying to make it into like an esport. So I think esports need to just start consolidating all their shit into one focus, because it's not because Destiny 2, I understand them making a sequel to that because
They changed mechanics.
The mechanics changed. They took Destiny, which was not very not good game, and then turned it into Destiny 2, which is, better.
And they also didn't want to do that. They were told to do that.
Yeah, they were.
That's why
because they were like, I remember the original Destiny things. They were like, we want Destiny to be a 10-year game.
Yeah. Guess
they
what?
wanted to work on it.
Destiny 2 still hasn't changed from Destiny 2. It's just an adding expansion after expansion.
they've just been making it bigger, which is why Destiny 2 is now just called Destiny.
Yep.
And no one even remembers that first one existed.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, I plugged in the first one because I bought it on sale for like $5 at GameStop for like all the DLC and shit, and I was like, yeah, I should play through this. And then like, I was playing through it and I was like, oh, I can slightly feel where the mechanics are different, you know, like where it technically needed a new engine, but like not much has changed, like actually, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, god damn.
I remember playing the first Destiny because I got it free with my PlayStation. Because I got like one of those white Destiny PlayStations, and then I was like, I'm not really a shooter person, but I'll try it out. And I put it in. I put like the first. I shot like the first dude coming out of a cave in the first level, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
I think my favorite thing to watch though is the Rooster Teeth, like the older ones, where they were playing like the Destiny raids and shit, and it was just 40 minutes of them fucking up
And yelling at each other.
That is so funny to me. All right, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, we're good.
Where can we find you, Derek?
Came in second and everything. Stay tuned on my Twitter for blue hair and monster guitars.
Nice. Where can we find you, Deshaun?
You can find me at Mr. Urban Buddha on Twitter and YouTube, and Super Urban Buddha on Twitch.
All right, and you can find me at IPT Buttons on Twitter, then I Press the Buttons on YouTube and Twitch. You guys all take care, and as always, laugh at yourself. We'll catch you guys next time.